Hi friends, Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, a big welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here for another episode. Get my timer on here. Alright. How are you guys doing? How has your week been? Hope it's been really good. Hopefully I'm not yelling into the microphone again. I think it helped a little bit having this little fuzzy bit on there. It's more for wind and such, but it seems to work well too in a house environment. I'm not wearing a hand knit that I made. This my mom found at a thrift store years ago. Actually, I might have found it years ago. I think I did. A very long time ago. And it's an alpaca, very heavy wool sweater. It is definitely oversized. I actually have the cuff folded in. So really comfy, really cozy. It is like wearing a big fuzzy blanket, and it's probably not as fine an alpaca as many of the yarns that I work with. Like my alpaca cloud base and my merino alpaca base, those both are very, very soft. And I don't find them prickly at all, but this one, sometimes it can prickle a little bit around my neck, but otherwise it's not bad at all. I really enjoy it. So I hope you guys have something cozy to sip on. I hope you're working on a project. I'd love to hear what you're working on. If it's knitting, crochet, spinning, weaving, woodworking, any projects. I'm always interested in hearing about other creatives' work, so definitely feel free to comment below and share what you're working on. I'm sipping on this really good tea. Not sponsored. It's one of my favorites. It's a seasonal. I think it's seasonal. Actually, it might be around all year, but I seasonally tend to drink it. And I think it's sensational. You have to forgive me. My brain hasn't been working so well this week. I just haven't been sleeping very well. Anyway, it's a cinnamon, an apple cinnamon tea, and it's so good. It's herbal, so it's non-caffeinated. Really cozy. So good. One of my favorites. So I'm sipping on that while I do this wonderful recording for you guys. As far as shop update goes, I think I have almost all of the advents sent out. I should say I have all of the advents sent out that were purchased. So I hope you guys, I think everyone should have received it by now. So I hope you did. And yeah, for those of you that still want to get one, I do have just a couple available, one or two available still in the shop. So if you do want to snag one of the advents for this year, the hand spinning advents, so they are all bats, so not specifically towards knitters. You want to be able to spin it first. So either you have drop spindle, supported spindle, some way of spinning that wool if you want to turn it into yarn. You could probably weave with it as is. Choose your own adventure. But they are bats, and they're 20-gram bats. There's 6 of them. And then there's some other little goodies in there that I sprinkled in as a thank you from me to you for purchasing and supporting my small business. Yeah, so I hope that you will partake if you'd like to. And again, I think if you wanted to order it this week, you'd probably still be good to get it in time for December 1st. I do ship it like priority mail, so it does get to you relatively quickly, especially if you're in the United States. But if it gets closer to the holiday, then it can get trickier, and I can't really guarantee that it would get to you in time. So hopefully that you will, if you want to have it by December 1st, hopefully you'll be ordering it this next week so you don't miss out. But it'll be a joy to open any time of year. And it's not specific to Christmas, but I did design it for that. So, but don't worry, like if you're wanting to open it later or just enjoy it. So for me, I'm going to be opening it starting December 1st. And then I think every other day I'll open a bat, and then I'll kind of spin them along, and I'll probably be spinning them into the new year because it does take a while to spin. Like I said, they're 20 grams of each, and it's actually probably a little bit more than that. I always want to be very generous with the amount of fiber because I don't want you to be undercut on the fiber. And there's always a little bit of VM in there. Some of the fleeces were like very clean. Some had quite a bit of VM, so it took a lot of work on my part, but there's still just a touch in there. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of the fun part for me. Yes, it's vegetable matter. You don't really want that in your yarn, but it brings you closer to the animal, like the actual process of growing the wool. I think that's really cool. And the more I get involved with sheep, because we own sheep, the more I really appreciate that. And that's why I enjoy spinning so much. I like processed wool. Don't get me wrong, like very processed wool, hand dyed, because it's really fun to play with different colors and everything. But when it comes to the natural fiber that hasn't been dyed and minimally processed, so I'm talking like farm bats, things like that, you really can still feel some of the lanolin, and it's so wonderful. It's really wonderful. So if you do enjoy that and trying to be closer to the animal itself that grew the wool, definitely make sure that you grab one of those advents, because I think you'll really enjoy it. Okay, so that's the shop update end of things. As far as my work in progress, I did work on 2 projects, and the one you've been seeing, actually you've seen both of these quite a bit. The one I panicked because my wonderful little dog, I love her so much. She has a terrible habit. So she's a rescue, and she has always, like her prior owners, they had her from baby until 7 months, and I got her at 7 months. So prior to that, she was allowed on all the furniture. She was allowed to do whatever she wanted, and as much as that's wonderful from, a rescue situation, really hard to break. That is a really hard habit to break. So we try really hard, and she's gotten so much better to stay off the furniture. However, if we are not home or we're out of the room for not a very long period of time, she might jump up on the couch. And I had my knitting on the couch, as one does, and that little stinker, I think she decided to have a nap on it because there was quite a bit of her fur. I almost said wool on the brain. Quite a bit of her fur in my project, and I think she must have jumped off the couch and got her foot caught in my needle, and she pulled one of the needles out. So I'm working with circular needles. She pulled one of them out, and more than half of the stitches came off of the needle. As anyone who works on knitting projects in particular, because crochet is definitely different, but if you're a knitter, I think you'll understand the blood loss that occurred, and no matter how hard I try, when I try to put stitches back on, I immediately find it hard to breathe. Like, I need to remind myself to breathe because you just feel like you're going to pull them out even more. And it's not the end of the world. Luckily, I only had to rip back through like 2 rows. But we are now working with quite a few stitches. Now, the project that I'm talking about, so you can have some context, is the mystery musicale shawl by Stephen West of West Knits. And that's what I've currently been working on quite a bit. So this is the first section here. And then this is the second section. This is the right side. It is not mid-row. I actually finished the row. So this is a rare occurrence that you guys can see the shawl. The tricky part is it's already got a decent wingspan on it, and it's only the second clue. I think there's 4 clues, but yeah, I've had some progress. As you can see, I've gotten a few of the repeats going on. So you do like a repeat, and then you kind of repeat that again. I'm not certain how many times. I didn't really look ahead, but it'll probably be a couple more times and then go to the next section. I'm really enjoying this. I will say I am enjoying this section so much more than the first section because it's, yes, I have to look at the pattern, but it's not quite as involved looking at the pattern as it is with this first section. Clue 1 took a lot of focus. Clue 2 is definitely becoming a bit more of a relaxing experience, and I really enjoy the play, how you can really see the colors so much more because they're large chunks of it. I also like the patterning detail, how it actually causes this ripple effect. It's really pretty. I'm a little partial to the colors. So these are hand dyed by me, my small indie dyed business, Multifarious Nature. And then this is, again, my Nightshade colorway, Autumn Kiss. It's all a bunch of Hocus Pocus and Hunter's Moon. Hunter's Moon is this one. So super fun colors. Hopefully those will come into focus because I'm blocking my eyes. A lot of fun. I like the contrast. It's really, really fun. So I've been working on that one quite a bit and definitely enjoying it. That's kind of my nightly project that I work on, and the project I work on during the day, in the morning, and then at lunch is my other project. So the other project that I've been working on is the Weekender Crew. It's by Andrea Mowry of Dre Renee Knits, and I am working with plutolopi, which is Icelandic wool. It is unspun, and I'm holding it double with Old Mill yarn. It's like a really fine lace weight, dark brown. It's a merino alpaca blend, and just holding that with it just to give it a little extra stability and durability when wearing it, because like most sweaters, it's unspun. Unspun can be strong when it's knit. However, even with that being said, I have found some, not so much plutolopi, definitely Nutiden. They tend to grow quite a bit and thin. And for example, I have this really beautiful Nutiden sweater that I held it double. I'm pretty sure I held it double. And it's grown so much. It's the Forager. Pretty sure it's the Forager by Melanie Hoffman. And the shoulder area, the raglans, and the upper part of the raglan is getting super thin. It's still fine, I think, and I keep hoping and praying that I'm going to slightly felt it. Just because I don't want it to keep growing, because once it gets thin enough, it will just break. And that's a pain when you've done all that work, and especially if it's a beautiful, cozy sweater like that one is. I have had other sweaters that did that kind of thing, and it was Icelandic wool, and I had to reknit it into something else. And that's not the end of the world, but I prefer to have a sweater that I can just constantly keep wearing and get a lot of wear out of it. Like many of you, I'm sure, making wool pieces that you can wear, really like them to be like heirloom pieces that you can have for many, many years. And there's just so much work that goes into them. And they're not cheap, that's for sure. When you buy a lot of the wool, I'm sure for those of you that have been getting into different, especially if you're doing indie dyed knitting, and even like plutolopi. Plutolopi is actually pretty affordable when you think of like unspun. Nutiden's pretty expensive, and I have a little bit of Nutiden. It's quite the treat, and I really enjoy it. Yeah, we'll get to the sweater because I just went on a tangent. But anyway, I am mid-row on this, naturally. This is the front portion of my sweater. So it's knit in the round, bottom up, in this wonderful pumpkin-y color. It is, I think it's called burnt orange. I do not know the color number, but that is plutolopi, and it's knit with that wrong side facing out, and the right side has this wonderful slip stitch detail. It's really cute. So at this point, instead of knitting in the round, you switch to knitting the front panel from like your underarm up, and then you'll knit the back from the underarm up, and then you attach it a certain way, and it's a really interesting pattern. I'm really excited because I've knit the crew, or not the weekender crew, but the weekender. It didn't end up exactly the right size because I used hand spun, and that was kind of tricky. But this one I think is going to fit so much better. Just by looking at it, I can tell that it's going to be a better fit. It looks looser, and I think I went up a size to also help with that, so it'll really make sure I have plenty of room around my arms and everything, because that's where I tend to get a little bit snugger if I do. So really enjoying it. The super fun part about Newton or any unspun, this is a perfect example. So I broke it's very easy to do this. When I was in my car working on this on my lunch break, and as I was unfurling my plutolopi, I was pulling on it, and then boop, it separated, which is not the end of the world with unspun, because it actually can felt to itself. So all I would do is take that other end, overlap it about an inch or so. I just do a decent overlap, and then I kind of rub it with my hand. I don't even get it wet or anything. I just rub it with my hand, and then I knit across it. And if you do like a good inch or so overlap, that's at least a good 2 to 3 stitches, depending on the size of your needle. And that's plenty. It'll felt. It felts. It'll be fine. So now if it was a more worn area, like again, like the raglan, then I'd probably try to actually felt it with a little bit of moisture. You can get that wet with water. Some people even use like spit on it and rub it between their fingers. I know, really graphic, but whatever works. But I just really love this color. I wish I could have it done for Thanksgiving. I'm not going to, because I just feel like this would be a super fun sweater to wear. But yeah, I'm not even on my best day would I get that done that quickly. That's just not going to happen. But maybe for Christmas, maybe I would have it done. I don't know. It's possible. Anything's possible. But I do also realize that once December 1st hits, I'm going to start spinning because of my Advent. So yes. And I do have another Advent coming. I did actually get one for Christmas, which is really fun. I always love that. It's such a wonderful tradition. My husband has been getting me an Advent for the past couple years, and I really, really enjoy it. And this one is Melly Knits. I did her Advent last year, and it was a different one. So she doesn't have her True North Advent this year, but she does have another one that's going to be a little more involved. It's the Great Guts Adventure. And my goal, we'll see if this happens, because, the holidays and everything. But my goal would be to record maybe making the bats, because the Great Guts Adventure, the way it works is she has 12 bats, or not bats, they're 12 days of fiber, and they're cleaned, like washed, but they're not picked and not carded. So I have to do that myself. But the cool fun part is there's fun little mix-ins that she's putting in with each one. And I'm really excited about that, just to explore and play. And my goal, this is a pretty lofty goal, but now that we have internet, I can record more. So my goal would be to record each one of those days, and they will probably be delayed. I probably won't release them right away, which is fine, because you don't want to ruin it for anybody that's opening them. But I figured if you're someone who is curious about Advents and what they look like and what they could look like and what they're about, it would be kind of fun. Plus, these Advents are very elusive. Melly knits in particular, and well, the nature of it, mine as well. There's a very, very limited supply because we tend to do things with single fleeces. And so that's the tricky part, right? You have a fleece that only weighs so much, so you can only make so many advents. And that's the cool part about it, because it really adds to the rarity of what it is. Wool will always be there. You can constantly get the same breed, but it will be a different sheep, and it may be a different color, and it may change. That's a really neat part about sheep, is every year their fleece changes. It's a little different. As they age, it changes. It could become softer. Some breeds do become softer, and sometimes it becomes slightly coarser. And that's really fascinating, and it's cool because it's always there, but it's always changing. And I love that so much. So I think that'd be pretty fun to involve you guys and share the process. I may totally fumble and stumble because these are different materials that I might have worked with before. I've worked with quite a bit of wool, but some of these mix-ins that she includes, I have no idea, and it might be something I've never worked with. And so I can show you with my wonderful drum cutter that my husband built me, and I'd love to kind of show you guys that process and go through it. Some of it I might have to hand card first before I blend it. This is all new to me, so I'm really excited, something very different. And I would like to do that. They'd be like little mini episodes. They won't be like full podcasts like this. But I think that would be fun. And I know I would enjoy that. Like if someone else did that, I would enjoy it. So I thought, well, maybe that would be something you guys would enjoy. Anyways, speaking of which, if you guys are enjoying this content, definitely make sure you like and subscribe. And if you do hit the little bell, you'll be notified when I post new videos. And I do try to post weekly, but now I might be posting a little more often once in a while with special things. Vlogmas will be coming up. The Vlogmas that I do is very casual, but I do decorate for Christmas, and it's just really fun. I get into the holiday spirit, and I try to talk about either things we're going to be doing that season, like that each week, and things like that. I do weekly Vlogmas posts. So it's kind of basically my podcast, but I do it more Christmassy for December. So I hope you guys will be here for that as well. And yeah, trying to think if there's anything else to add. Life update end of things? Not much. I mean, it's getting really dark here early. By 5:30, the sun goes down, which is so bizarre. Get home from work and do the chores really quick, the outside chores, and you gotta come in. The sheep have to be put away so much earlier. And they don't seem to mind because they're complaining for their sheep nuts to be put into their little hut as soon as it starts getting dark. So they seem to get it too. The chickens, they put themselves away quickly, and that's fun. The tricky part is they aren't free ranging for very long because we let them out for like an hour and maybe hour and a half, and then it starts getting dark. So that's the weirdness about the darkness that we deal with here this time of year. But it's not, I like the coolness. It's a lot easier to get chores done when it's cooler out. However, the really, really chilly temperatures we're getting, like the last couple days, we did drop into the 30s. 36 degrees Fahrenheit was our high, and we did have a day of 33 and 32, and overnight it was in the 20s. So their water froze, and that's how I felt like it really snuck up on us this year. I normally feel like I'm more prepared and have the heated waters plugged in and everything and ready for those first freezes. But yeah, this year it missed me. So I now have them plugged in and they're good. But that's the crazy part of critters in the wintertime. And that's the hard part. Water in the wintertime is a lot of hard work, I have to say. But otherwise, we love critters. They're really fun. But there's definitely some hard work involved. That's for sure. And I'm trying to think of anything else different. I don't know if I told you guys, but we do have a new a hay hut, hay house. It is right outside of our sheep pasture, which is so nice. It's really conveniently located. Now, even in the morning, if they're low on hay, because their grass is low now and it's really slowing down on growth, I don't think we're really going to have it growing too much more. Now these temperatures are getting so low. So they're really going to rely on their hay for their main feed. And I can give them hay in the morning and evening so much easier now that it's right outside of their gate, instead of having to hike up our hill, down our hill to the barn, and then back up the hill and back down the hill to the sheep. That's quite the walk in the morning when it's really early and very dark outside. And in the winter, that's when you really feel it, with the snow trudging through 3 feet of snow. Yeah, I have done that before, and it's not pleasant. So I think that's pretty much it as far as life update goes. I don't think there's really much else to share at the moment. Yeah, just the usual chores and getting things done. Definitely having more fires now, fires in the fireplace, and the cozy season has begun. Speaking of cozy. But yeah, I hope you guys are well, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Take care.